Did you know that more than 60% of women over the age of 50 often experience symptoms like poor sleep, bloating, mood swings, and persistent fatigue, yet never suspect that it could all begin in their gut? Over the past 2 decades, working closely with women in the perimenopausal and postmenopausal stages, I have listened to thousands of stories. Many women came in struggling with restless sleep, memory lapses, or a deep sense that their body was losing its natural balance, even though they were eating well and exercising regularly. Today, I want to share a new but very important perspective from the research of Dr. Lisa Mosconi, a leading expert at Weill Cornell Medicine. She has shown that gut health might be the forgotten key in supporting hormonal function and vitality as women age. If you've been feeling like your health is slipping and nothing seems to explain it, stay with this video. Because sometimes, starting with the gut may be the fastest way to restore your sleep, your skin, and your emotional well-being. Which country are you watching from? Leave a comment below. And if you find this helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe so we can continue this journey together. There is something I've always told my patients over the past 20 years. The gut is not just where food is digested, it is your body's second brain. This might sound surprising, but modern science has confirmed it. Researchers have discovered that the gut contains over 100 million nerve cells, directly connected to the brain through a control system called the gut-brain axis. But what matters even more is this: the nervous system of the gut has a powerful influence on your emotions, your sleep, your memory, and even your hormones. Have you ever lost your appetite when feeling sad or had stomach pain when anxious? That is the clearest sign that your gut and your brain are communicating. And when your gut is out of balance, it becomes almost impossible to feel calm, relaxed, or truly restored. This is especially true for women over the age of 50. As hormone levels begin to shift, the digestive system also changes. Many women eat less but feel more bloated, digest food more slowly, and struggle with sleep at night. Some may think it's just aging or a weak stomach, but in fact, it's the gut microbiome trying to get your attention. In an article published by Harvard Health Publishing, scientists revealed that when the gut microbiome is out of balance, the body enters a state of low-grade chronic inflammation. The result is poor quality sleep, mood swings, and an ongoing sense of fatigue with no clear reason. And this goes beyond just how you feel. Once the gut-brain axis is disrupted, the body's natural hormone regulation also begins to break down. The very hormones that once helped you maintain vitality, emotional stability, restful sleep, and healthy skin are no longer being produced or restored properly. As you can see, everything begins from within. And the gut, with over 1.5 kilograms of bacteria living inside, is where the vitality, clarity, and balance you're looking for truly begin. So what causes this microbiome to weaken after age 50? Let's explore that in the next section, where you'll discover why the gut begins to decline with age if it's not cared for properly. When a woman reaches the age of 45, her body begins to go through subtle changes that she may not even notice at first. Some begin to find that their sleep is no longer as deep as before. They wake up still feeling tired and mentally unfocused. Others often feel bloated or have trouble digesting. Even when eating a well-balanced diet, these fleeting signs are actually the first signals that your gut is beginning to change. During perimenopause, a woman's hormone levels naturally begin to decline. But what many people don't realize is that this hormonal shift directly affects the gut microbiome, which houses trillions of bacteria that have lived in harmony with us since we were in the womb. As hormone levels fall, the protective mucosal lining of the intestinal wall also becomes thinner. This creates an unstable environment in the gut, leading to a drop in both the quantity and quality of beneficial bacteria, especially those responsible for immunity and energy metabolism. At this point, your body becomes like a garden going through a drought. The microbial communities that once worked together smoothly can no longer fully manage digestion, nutrient absorption, detoxification, and emotional regulation. As a result, you may experience more bloating, constipation, restless sleep, irritability, and a sense of disconnection from your own body. Many people assume this is just part of aging, but it actually begins with an imbalance in the gut, which is incredibly complex and sensitive. A study from Harvard Health Publishing revealed that women in perimenopause are more likely to experience low-grade chronic inflammation when the gut microbiome is disrupted. This type of inflammation is silent. It doesn't cause pain or fever, but it deeply affects the nervous and hormonal systems. When this condition persists, the body becomes more prone to chronic stress, which further disrupts hormone balance. What's more, the gut also plays a role in producing neurotransmitters like serotonin, the chemical that helps regulate mood and support restful sleep. When the gut is weak and serotonin production declines, you may begin to feel tired without reason, or even mildly down in the afternoon or evening. This is exactly why I always tell my patients, if you want to support your hormones, you must first return to the gut, because when the starting point is neglected, all other efforts from the outside will only bring temporary relief. So which group of bacteria plays the most important role in hormone regulation, and why does this group become more vulnerable after the age of 50, if you're curious? Let's continue exploring that in the next section. You may have heard that hormones in the body are produced and then disappear through a natural cycle. But what few people realize is that there is a group of gut bacteria that helps recycle these hormones, making them more effective and extending their lifespan in the body. This group of bacteria has a very special name in modern medicine. It is called the estrobolome. The estrobolome is a collection of gut bacteria that can break down excess hormones and convert them into biologically active forms so that the body can reuse them. Thanks to this process, hormones are not entirely lost after being used. Instead, they are brought back into circulation as part of a natural recycling system. This is especially important for women over the age of 50, when the body's ability to produce hormones begins to decline. However, the estrobolome is extremely sensitive. When your diet is poor, when antibiotics are used for long periods, or when chronic stress takes over, this microbial system becomes seriously weakened. As a result, excess hormones are not properly broken down, leading to hormonal imbalance. You may begin to experience hot flashes, trouble sleeping, belly fat accumulation, dry skin, or a sense of exhaustion without any clear reason. Many people try to fix these symptoms by adding things from the outside, without realizing that the healing really needs to start in the gut. A study published in the Journal of Urology found that women who showed reduced gut microbiome diversity, especially in the estrobolome, were more likely to suffer from low energy levels in the postmenopausal stage. This proves an important point. The gut microbiome doesn't just support digestion, it is also a silent protector of your hormonal health. You can imagine your body like a house, and the estrobolome is the maintenance team working quietly behind the scenes, keeping everything in order until they are no longer there. When that happens, the entire system inside starts to become chaotic and unbalanced. So how can you tell when this microbial system is struggling? Are there any warning signs your body might be giving you? Let's explore that in the next section. Your body may not always speak through obvious pain, but when something deep inside is out of balance, it often sends subtle, unique signals. One of those signals is a condition that medicine describes with a quiet name. It's called leaky gut. This is not the same as a wound or a clear-cut illness. It happens when the protective lining of your gut, which normally keeps harmful particles out, becomes weaker and thinner. When this barrier breaks down, toxins, bacteria, and undigested food particles can seep into the bloodstream. As a result, the immune system has to work overtime, constantly reacting to substances that were never meant to enter the blood. When this process goes on for a long time, the body enters a state of low-grade chronic inflammation. This is not a fever. It doesn't put you in bed, but it leaves you tired for no reason, more irritable than usual, struggling to sleep, forgetting things, and losing hormonal balance. What's important is that many people never connect these symptoms to the gut. I once treated a woman in her 50s. She looked healthy, ate a balanced diet, and had no major health conditions. But she often complained of bloating, a heavy feeling in her stomach, waking up with a foggy mind, and feeling emotionally off by late afternoon. After running specialized tests, we discovered that her gut lining showed signs of inflammation far beyond the normal range. In other words, her body was silently reacting to foods she ate every day, even though they seemed perfectly healthy. This is why I always advise people over 50 to pay attention to the small changes. A night of shallow sleep, a constant heaviness in the belly, an unexpected wave of irritability. These are not personality traits. These are signals. And if you listen closely enough, you'll begin to see that your body is trying to tell you one thing: your gut needs healing. So what can you start doing today to support a healthier gut, naturally, without relying on medication? The answer lies in a few simple steps, and you'll discover them in the next section. Many people think that restoring the gut microbiome requires medication, supplements, or strict diets. But the truth is, the gut has a remarkable ability to heal if you give it the right environment. After more than 20 years of working with women through perimenopause and menopause, I can say this with confidence. Just a few small changes each day can awaken the vitality that already exists within your own body. The first thing you need to do is rebuild the food supply for your beneficial bacteria. These helpful microbes feed on a special kind of nutrient called prebiotics, which are found in naturally fiber-rich foods like oats, ripe bananas, steamed vegetables, or boiled sweet potatoes. If you start your day with a bowl of soft-cooked oatmeal and a few slices of banana, you're not just enjoying a light breakfast. You're hosting a feast for your gut microbiome. The second step is to naturally introduce good bacteria through traditional fermented foods that were once staples in everyday meals. These include properly prepared pickled vegetables, plain yogurt, or kefir. These fermented foods contain live cultures that support digestion and nutrient absorption. The key is to consume them daily in small, steady amounts, not too much, just enough for your gut to recognize and nourish them. And the third step, though simple, is often the most overlooked, is the practice of eating slowly, chewing thoroughly, and taking a deep breath before your meal. When you slow your breathing, your parasympathetic nervous system is activated. This is the body's state for digestion, absorption, and repair. If you eat in a stressed state, even a healthy meal becomes harder to process. But if you take just 1 minute to sit quietly and breathe deeply before eating, your gut will be better prepared to rest and function properly. I once advised a woman in her 60s to make just 3 changes for 1 month. Add ripe banana to her breakfast. Eat yogurt consistently after lunch. And spend 60 seconds breathing deeply before each meal. 1 month later, she came back and told me that the fatigue she had carried for years felt like it was being lifted, layer by layer. Vitality doesn't come from big changes. It begins with the small choices you repeat every day. So if your gut is calling for help, what early signs might your body send you? Let's explore those signals in the next section. The body doesn't always speak in clear and loud ways, but if you listen closely, you'll start to notice the small, quiet signs that your gut may be growing weaker day by day. And the good news is, if you catch these signs early, you can help your gut heal itself before things spiral out of balance. The first sign, often overlooked, is irregular bowel movements, even when your diet seems healthy. Many people believe it's only a problem when constipation becomes severe. But in fact, if you go less than 3 times a week, or if your stool is sometimes hard and sometimes loose, it's a signal that your gut is struggling to process and eliminate waste properly. This is not just a digestive issue. It's a sign that your gut microbiome may be out of balance. The second sign is a feeling of bloating or heaviness after light meals. Some people eat just a bowl of vegetable soup or a slice of bread and still feel heavy and sleepy, or like they need to lie down. If this happens frequently, especially in the afternoon or after dinner, it may mean your gut no longer has enough beneficial bacteria to smoothly handle digestion. Your digestive system is quietly working too hard behind the scenes. The third sign comes from your mood. If you often feel irritable, impatient, or slightly anxious in the late afternoon or before bed, it may not just be your circumstances. It could be linked to your gut's nervous system, which produces most of the serotonin in your body, the chemical that creates a sense of calm. When the gut is out of balance, serotonin drops, and your emotional state can shift with it. I call these signals the quiet messages from within, because your body always knows how to protect itself. It just needs you to care enough to pay attention. So if you've noticed even one of these 3 signs, what might happen if you ignore it? And more importantly, how can you restore the lightness and strength that once felt natural? We'll bring everything together in the final conclusion. As you reach the end of today's journey, perhaps you've come to realize something important. Good health is not just about digestion. It is the quiet foundation that supports your sleep, your emotions, your energy, and your hormonal balance every single day. Especially as your body moves through the changes that come after age 50, we've explored the microbiome inside your gut. We've met the estrobolome, those tiny allies that help recycle your hormones. We've also uncovered the subtle warning signs your body sends when the gut begins to weaken. And the good news is, you can begin with small, simple changes that truly make a difference. Just by choosing a different vegetable at dinner, you help nourish your good bacteria. Just by adding a small cup of plain yogurt after lunch, or taking one deep breath before your meal, you begin to rewrite your body's recovery rhythm. No medication is needed, no drastic changes required. You simply need to begin starting today. I know that perimenopause and menopause are not easy chapters, but when you begin to understand your body's language, you no longer feel alone, because every cell inside you is quietly working to move you toward vitality, balance, and peace. If you found today's content helpful, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more gentle guidance on nutrition, movement, and natural ways to support your health after 50. And if there's a food or practice that helps your digestion each day, leave a comment below. I'm always here to listen and walk this journey with you. Start with the gut. Start with something small. Start with you.